I found myself inside a jar of peanut butter, and I found myself with raisins in my mouth. And then I found myself with even more peanut butter. And then I just happened to find about like 3 or 4 dates in my mouth. Can you imagine? Day 13. So it's been an interesting day today. Last night I decided that because I had gone to bed very, very late, I went to bed close to like 2 a.m. Because I came back very, very late from dance, and then I had to. Did I have to film then? I think I filmed and then I posted. Oh no, I had filmed before I had gone to dance, so I had to edit and then post. And I decided that I'm not going to use my alarm today. I'm going to wake up when my body is ready. So I kind of woke up around like 10 something, and I wasn't out of bed until about midday, just before midday. So it's been a very slow day for me. I planned what I felt like I wanted to do, and that was starting with a cleanse. So I wanted to cleanse my space, which I managed to do. It took me quite it took me basically like all the day to cleanse, to take away everything, to begin the process of starting anew, and to begin to like hoover the house as well and tidy up in preparation for the new year. But also because I'm traveling on Sunday, I want to come back to like most of the work done, or actually all of the work done. So I've completed transforming my room, my half of the room, and I feel better about myself. I feel like now when I come back with fresh ideas, like after a week away from my room, I'll have fresh ideas in terms of how I want to decorate, what energy I want to kind of cultivate, the smells that I want to have, like the fragrances as well, the color of the sheets, etc. I want to change everything because I feel like I've changed. So that has come from like inner work and also the juice cleanse. In terms of the juice, today I had watermelon. It was so plain. I had watermelon with greens, parsley, and mint. And I think in the end today I added 1 kiwi just to give it a little bit more flavor. It wasn't a bad flavor, but the color was so muddy from the pink of the watermelon plus the dark green of the parsley. It just looked like mud. So it wasn't like I didn't run to drink. I just drink because I was hungry. So yeah, and then what had happened on top of that. So I had 3 jars of watermelon, parsley, mint. And then I juiced melon, including the melon seeds. So I juiced everything. And then I made like a tomato juice, but I added, what did I add? I added rocket, I added tomato, I added an onion. Yes, I juiced a red onion, and I juiced garlic. And then I juiced carrots as well. So 5 ingredients. And then, because it was giving soup vibes, of course, I seasoned it. So I added pepper, I added mixed seasoning, I added salt, I added, what else? I can't remember what I added. I think that could have been it. I added one other thing. I think I added nutmeg to it. So it ended up being a cold soup, actually. And I know on your juice cleanse you're not supposed to season, but we seasoned, and here we are. And then on top of that, I found myself inside a jar of peanut butter. And I found myself with raisins in my mouth. And then I found myself with even more peanut butter. And then I just happened to find about like 3 or 4 dates in my mouth. Can you imagine? So yes, we've deviated from the juice cleanse. It hasn't been a strict cleanse today. I have to check in with myself at the end of the day to see how I'm feeling, actually, how I feel about that I've deviated a little bit. But what has been on my mind a lot is actually all the recipes and how I'm going to celebrate the end of this juice cleanse. So I think I'm going to have I'm going to go ham. Yes, I want sushi. I want raw sushi. And then I'm going to make what do I want to make? I want to make cereal bars. Not cereal bars, like healthy bars. Because I'm seeing different clips online. I'm saying, yes, that's what I deserve. I'm going to make yogurt. And then I've got some bananas here that nobody has been using because for some reason they're not really nobody's having bananas. Well, I'm not clearly having bananas, but nobody else is having bananas, so they're very ripe now. I'm going to freeze them, and of course I'm going to make chocolate ice cream. And then I'm thinking about making a nut milkshake to pour down my head from the crown all the way to my toes. So that's going to be I want to have a feast in celebration, because this has actually been harder than I thought. I've never craved cooked food, but when I see it, when I smell it, because my sister cooks or my mom cooks every day, when I smell it and I haven't had my own dinner juice, I'm like, oh. So yeah, I deserve a feast. And I'm thinking about all the sauces that I'm going to make. I'm going to go back to peanut butter. Peanut butter. Oh, God. Yes, today has been a day of craving. How are you guys doing? Are you guys also craving? Have you had the same cravings on your juice cleanse? I'm wondering, actually, at this point, what am I doing it for? Because I love food. I really love food. I was born to talk about food most of my life. To be fed, yes. I was born to be fed. But even then, one thing I'm grateful about is my increased appreciation for food, and also my eagerness to try out new recipes. Because basically throughout this year, the last 11 months, I was very content having salad, and it was a tasty salad. It was very tasty. All the flavors, the mix of the sweet and the salty was the tangy, the spicy was really doing it for me. But now I want to branch out, and I used to love a lot of different foods before. Let me go back to that and see if I can recreate that. And also, I think I might order a dehydrator so that I can make things in advance. I've got my sprouting jars that are coming on Sunday. So I'm really preparing for this feast that's going to happen on the 1st / the midnight on the 31st. So let's say on the 1st, I'm going to have a feast. So I'm going to be prepping the last couple of days of this month in order for that massive one-man celebration. I'm not sure if my mother would celebrate with me. That we'll see. She might try my sushi. I'll be sprouting some wild rice as well, or what do they call it? Do we say it was sprouted? What do we call it? Soaking wild rice, some different beans as well. What else do I want to sprout? I want to sprout everything. I just have hungry eyes. Really, I have hungry eyes. But yes, in terms of my strategy, again, because there's a lack of sweetness in my smoothies, I'm craving other things. I crave the dates and the raisins today. So I think I need to balance it. Because watermelon hasn't been that sweet. So I miss it. I miss that taste. I've got a sweet tooth, I guess. The melon seed, I haven't finished the melon seed juice actually. But that is quite sweet, sweeter than I expected. It tastes sweeter than a melon seed smoothie. So I'll see what I can do tomorrow about adding something, maybe one orange to make it. I'm looking over there because that's where the fruit bowl is. But I could add one orange to make it a bit more flavorsome. And 3 jars was enough for me to... No, that's a lie. I had about including the soup, I had about 4.5 jars. So, yes. That is what my body was wanting. And in terms of the emotional well-being, emotional healing, I guess I really want to decide now. I'm getting really clear thoughts about what I want my life purpose to be, how I want to be of service to the world, and how I want to like find my joy. And this is something that you really need God for, you know. It comes from a higher place, your purpose, your calling. And so finding that, what that specifically is, and going full force with it is something that's been on my mind today. And actually the slow pace was really great for me, really knowing that I don't have to be productive as was the case previously, but me giving myself what I want is producing great results. And it's such an important thing, because if I don't, who else will? Yeah, my hair is just hanging naturally. When I wake up, this is exactly what it looks like, and I'm getting like a fringe. I'm going to start retying it. This side is getting old. This side has been like, I think almost 6 weeks since I retied this corner anyways, this big corner, and this one probably 3 weeks or so. So I'll restart the retie process tomorrow, and you'll see it probably will look a bit longer. And another healing process in terms of like the luxuriousness that I desire, I have to offer that to myself. So I was having a conversation today when my sister was cooking and I was making my juice soup. I was actually eating my juice soup while she was cooking. And she said, why don't you go and sit down and enjoy your food? Because I have a tendency to eat standing up in the kitchen. I've done this for such a long time. Unless I'm having, for example, my salads, because that takes like half an hour to eat. Or no, that doesn't take half an hour. It takes like 20 minutes to eat. So that's when I sit down. But there's something I find not so great about sitting down and eating. I feel more like I've settled. And then I have to ask myself, what's wrong with like settling? What's wrong with sitting down, breathing, and enjoying the moment? And throughout the years, I think twice in the last, it could have been 5-6 years, I've tried to take half an hour to chew my food. So half an hour to eat. And what had happened was, of course, you don't get like your belly does not like fall out because the food is well chewed. And I would like literally chew my food until there's no more taste in it, and then I would swallow it. So I wasn't allowed to chew and swallow. It was chew, 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 chew. The food is dead. Now we swallow. So you really extract all the flavor out of it. So that's where my thoughts are today. Why don't I give myself that time to really enjoy myself? Like set it up, put my food on a tray, fancy up the cutlery, even add a spoon, even though I'm not eating with a spoon, even though I might be eating with just a knife and fork, or maybe if I'm just eating with my hands, but really set it up, give myself that fancy treatment, and let my body get accustomed to ease and pleasure. As I mentioned a couple of videos ago, I want to make pleasure a priority, a thing in my life, the centerpiece, because why not? That's something that I'm not completely used to in all areas of my life, just certain areas of my life. And coming back to an idea of treat for the week, it's something that me and my best friend introduced into our lives, like maybe 2023. Just once a week, we would do something like out of the ordinary, something that kind of breaks the routine to just celebrate ourselves. And that was really good for our sense of like satisfaction and comfort and self-celebration. And I think it's really important because as I tend to strive towards one thing, it's easy to forget that element of self-care and self-loving and stuff. But overall, my spirit is good. My spirit is high. I am looking forward to the weekend. I don't know what to expect actually from the weekend. So that's good. That's really, really good. And I will continue to Oh, I didn't mention that as I was clearing up my room, I was clearing up my room. I've given away a lot of things so far, a lot of clothes. I had to get rid of, well, like, let's say, recycle a lot of files and scripts, audition pieces over the last year. Over Since 2023, actually, I've had some files and stuff. I've had some letters, some brainstorming ideas that have, like, I brainstorm often on random, not random pieces of paper, but like plain pieces of paper, and I keep them. But because I often went from like one lane to another over the last 18 months, those older pieces of paper are no longer relevant because I've just pivoted so quickly. So I wonder, actually, in terms on that topic, how do I tune in more with the voice of God so that I'm not pivoting, so that I take my time to make decisions as opposed to thinking I know, having to create one plan for it, and then realizing that no, actually I have to change lanes. And that has been a common theme for me, because in the past, I've started so many different courses because I felt like that was the right thing for me in the moment. But really, the decision that led me to choose that domain wasn't in my in my best interest. So, for example, when I used to live in Turkey, by the way, I used to live in Istanbul. I was in Istanbul for about like 13 months, September 2021 until October 2022. And then I had done about like a month and a half in Istanbul that summer. No, all over Turkey that summer, because we were filming. So what had happened was we went over to film in May, the end of May, and then we stayed until about like early July. I love Turkey so much. I said, okay, let me come back like soon after. And then I moved there in September. But anyways, when I was in Turkey, what I was doing for work, as I was auditioning, kind of flying back and forth to London for different projects, when I got them, between auditions, I was working as a teacher. And then I thought, let me get like a teach English course, TEFL course, actually. And so I started it, but then I found it super boring. And it was really like, I have no interest really in teaching in this structured way. So I did continue to teach, but I pivoted towards accent. And lo and behold, I ended up doing so many accents this year. So yeah, I ended up doing different accents this year, and I'm really good at like understanding different foreign accents when people speak English. So that's a detour that I went on. But I really struggle to do something that I don't like, It never works for me. Like my brain just taps out. I feel like I'm napping now, So yeah, it's really important for me to just slow down a little bit before I make a decision. Don't do things in haste and wait for the voice of God, because in those moments, I was not necessarily listening to the voice of God. Anyways, my mic is about to die, so I should be calling it a day. Anyways, how are you guys doing? I hope you're enjoying your Friday. I hope the week has been good as well. Any updates about your juice cleanse, and any updates for the new year? What are you guys doing for Christmas? Are you guys religious? Where do you tend to spend your Christmas holidays, actually? And what is the meaning of this time of year? Personally, for me, I grew up in a Christian household, but I deviated from Christianity about, like, let's say 5 years ago, where I was 23. Yes, 23. I think is the last time I went to church. I deviated it and found spirituality. And so I bowed down to nature, I bowed down to the universe, I bowed down to God. I use these words interchangeably. But so Christmas doesn't have the same meaning for me anymore, because I'm not celebrating like the birth of Jesus or any association to Jesus anymore. It's about, I guess, closing the year and closing it with family, and trying not to make Christmas a commercialized thing. Trying not to think of it as a time of opulence and what's the word, gluttony, because that has happened to me in the past, where you just, as a foodie especially, just eating and expecting certain presents, expecting the day to be complete only when you've received certain things. So anyways, that's a tangent and a half. What are your thoughts? And have a good evening. Maybe I'm tired. Maybe I'm actually sleepy, and that is why I'm going on. Anyways, I thank you guys for watching. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you. You're a champion. Until tomorrow, good night and have a good start to the weekend. Ciao.